we're going to go through the first round matchups so we can get to that conversation also. So we're going to do the play-in first. So as it stands right now, the 7th seed's the Heat, the 8th seed's the Hawks, the 9th seed's the Raptors, the 10th seed's the Wizards. We'll go through this really quickly because these teams are very poopy. Yeah. 9 and 10 would be the Raptors and the Wizards. I would go the Raptors. I think they're the better coached team. I still think that they have the better starting five. I'm going Raptors.
Don't the 7 play the 10?
The Wizards are just... It goes 9, 10, 7, 8. First,
right, and then lose. Yeah.
I feel like the Wizards is built for that moment to pull through. That would be their...
Screaming at what you're saying.
Their NBA Finals.
What do you mean they're built for that moment? It's in Toronto.
Even still, I feel like the Wizards, even with Bradley Beal being out, with how well Porzingis has played,
he has been really good.
I feel like that Wizards team would actually beat the Raptors personally. Not that it matters at all, but
I think the defense of the Raptors is still good enough to put up a good fight against this squad. The fact that Jakob Poeltl is now added to the squad, he's added an extra layer to the team that they haven't had and they've looked for these last couple of seasons. I still feel confident that the offensive firepower will be enough to get past the Wizards. Van Vliet, obviously, still one of the better scorers. That's a strong term. Still a good scorer. Gary Trent Jr. I know. Still, I just had to clarify my statement. Gary Trent obviously still can get a bucket himself. Scotty Barnes, although inconsistent, he can have a game where he can still get his, and still great playmaker, great defender, great playmaker for his position, great playmaker for his size. And then, of course, Pascal Siakam. We're talking about All-NBA Pascal Siakam. I don't got to say much when it comes to that. So I still think I would go the Raptors.
I'd go the Raptors. Well, I think personnel-wise, and you just trust them more than the Wizards. This Wizards team it's year in and year out. We know what they're going to be. I trust the Raptors' experience and overall just talent.
That's another thing as well. Raptors? Okay. So then the 7 and 8 would be the Heat versus the Hawks. I'm just going to go with the Heat here. Pretty safe for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost same argument.
I can see a Hawks upset, but I'll go Heat.
I could see it because that means that Trae Young had an unbelievable game. He showed it last year that he can just have that one moment and he can carry the team past the ironically the Cavaliers, who Darius Garland was a no-show. But yes, I'm going with the Heat here. Heat?
Yep, Heat.
Yeah, Heat.
Okay. So then for us, that would mean that it'd be the Raptors versus the Hawks. And then you would go the Hawks. Damn, that's
close.
Tough,
that is
bro.
tough.
Toronto.
I think so too. That matchup is good for the Raptors.
That defense is very, very, very stingy for Trae Young. It'd make him struggle. Actually, no, fuck no. I'm going to Joe.
And this is assuming Quin Snyder's not their head coach yet.
It's another thing.
Yeah.
Joe Prunty is who.
I think I would side with the Raptors, especially we don't know who the head coach of the Hawks is going to be right now.
I just know Trae Young struggles against the Heat, so I would take the Heat. In terms of the Raptors.
Yeah, last year Trae Young was bad against the Heat.
This one's kind of tough. Hawks Raptors would be a fun game. I'll probably go Raptors. I'll take the upset.
I'm gonna trust the Raptors. I'm gonna trust Nick Nurse in that situation as well. So, for you said you'd have the Wizards and the...
Forget about them. Move on.
The Wizards and the Hawks.
Hawks won.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. All right. So then that would mean the first round matchup for the Celtics would be the Raptors. So I'm thinking pretty clearly we're all going Celtics. Celtics in 4 sounds right, honestly.
Yeah. So honestly, thank God. Hopefully the Celtics biasly get a much easier path. Don't have to go 7 games, 7. I mean, I know we swept the Nets in the first round, but hopefully we'll be able to get past the Raptors and try to rest some of these guys.
So then the Bucks would play...
What was the matchup?
Celtics,
Raptors.
6 games.
6? You're bugging.
Nah, y'all bugging. them dudes play hard.
They
for
do play hard. I know. You don't have to tell
hard.
me. I'm the Raptors
They're
guy.
not talented enough.
They don't need to be to make it 6.
They made it 6 last year as Philly with 3.
So much better.
Nah, but the difference is they are
perfectly
better,
against you
but
guys.
also
But they're
game 3, the
talent-wise,
Raptors blowing
they can match up,
was
but we're
brutal.
just better in
that was
every
pretty
Where
spot.
Embiid hit the game-winning 3.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
That was rough.
You're better on
Nick
offense.
Nurse.
And defense.
Yeah,
Not that it
defense, but
matters.
they're a
Raptors
playoff.
They're more unmatched defensively.
They're a
with us than
playoff
offensively.
defense. They're not really a regular. I think they'll make it competitive. They have
Maybe 5. Maybe.
I'll give you 5. They'll get a game.
Bro, they have the only defenders in the East that can probably make Tatum
All right,
and
listen,
Brown
bro.
play like
Listen,
shit.
bro. Really clearly, really easily.
Yeah, I mean, he got size.
KD and Kyrie got swept. They were all really good games. They were great games. They got swept. Okay. The Raptors are not KD and Kyrie. You're saying 6 games.
Yeah, I think I'll make it 6.
All right.
I think the Raptors get 1.
I think I'll give them 1.
Yeah, they'll gut out 1. It's just off hard work. They're gonna get 1. So it's like
maybe.
Yeah,
honestly, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I've seen them gut out hard work for 2. I've seen them just outwork for 2 games. So I don't know.
Celtics are better than Philly significantly.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they match. Toronto matches up better with the Celtics than Philly.
What are we
Big?
doing?
Because Embiid, you're saying?
I don't know. Jakob Poeltl now makes things interesting.
Holy fucking moly.
You're saying in matchups. In matchups.
But I'm saying Toronto wants to play all wings.
Of course.
So that's why Boston pretty much has all side
well,
guys on the wings.
do they want to now?
They were thrown. They want not probably not now.
That's what I'm saying. Now you don't have Jakob allows you the flexibility to not have to force your way into that.
Yeah, Jakob's cool.
He is cool.
All right.
And I don't want to make it sound like he's this all-world player.
OG and Siakam, no. Defensively, it's
OD.
nasty.
Okay.
Awesome. And
Celtics
don't forget
move
about
on.
Gary. And don't forget about Fred.
Celtics move on.
All right, so then we're talking about the Bucks versus the Heat. Another rematch, which would be pretty
I'm sick of this shit too.
Yeah, me too. I'm not
You
going to
want
lie.
to talk
so
about
am
ugly
I.
basketball?
Yeah, this. I mean, anything with the Bucks. Is all they just.
This one could go 6.
I think every first round series could go 6.
And no.
I would take the Bucks in 5 or 6 against
I
the
would
Heat.
take the Bucks in 5, yes, but I would not be.
What's
it would not-
Middleton's status?
He's good.
He's playing.
I'll take it 5-6.
They're on a 13-game heater, by the way, for those that aren't
They are.
aware. 13 games in a row they've won.
And they were beating Phoenix last time I checked.
And Giannis also did get.
He does struggle against Miami though.
He does, but something to be aware about. He came back from his wrist
Suns are
injury.
up. Let's go.
Then he also did have a knee injury in his last game that he played. He's not playing against the Suns. So that's something to look out for. Hopefully that he's going to be all right. I'm assuming he's all right. We haven't heard any breaking news that he's going to be out for weeks, but he is not playing against the Suns. So I'm pretty sure we're all going Bucks this series.
Yes.
This would be a great series. Sixers versus the Knicks.
This is one that could go 7 games.
I think Joel Embiid puts on a virtuoso.
Embiid will have to carry. But him and Harden are they're just so magical together, honestly. The pick and roll, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, they are OD.
Because Embiid could roll or he could just stop and hit that little midi.
This is when Mitchell Robinson being back is going to be huge for them.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. Embiid
He's
is
a
still
good
gonna,
defender.
Yeah, but he's still gonna cook.
You know what?
Yeah.
But I would take the Sixers in
Talk to me.
6-7 games.
Talk to me nice.
You know, I think this is the one that blows Philly up.
Oh, shit.
I think
It's
this-
not the second round yet, though.
No, this is the first.
But that's why it blows them up, because you
this
lose
is-
in the first round to the New York Knicks.
Harden's
Doc's
going to
fired.
Houston.
Embiid traded. Harden gone.
You know what? I'll take New York. I'll
7?
take New York.
They're
in
taking the Knicks to
6.
eliminate the 76ers
In
and
the first
Joel
round.
Embiid an MVP can in the first round.
You said that like that moves me. I'll be honest with
Oh, it doesn't move me either. I think this year's going to 6 games too. Look, this is the battle of 2 horrible playoff coaches, and all due respect. Doc Rivers is a fraud. He's been a fraud
you.
for a
Spike
while.
Tibbs from Chicago.
Tibbs, sure, yeah,
You
Derrick
respect
Rose
Tibbs?
got hurt.
From Chicago, yes.
Philadelphia doesn't have that wing defender. We saw that last night in the last play. But the Knicks don't have a wing scorer.
McDaniels?
Even at them, we haven't seen him play in the
that's what
playoffs
it- yeah.
yet. And he wasn't in the game last night, memory
Yeah, I
serves. So I think the Sixers are going to win this comfortably in 6 games, and then they'll lose the next round.
I don't know. Something about this Knicks team gives me that fire that they can upset a team, and I think Philly's the one. You know, respect to Embiid.
It's really
MVP
weird
can-
hearing you give the Knicks respect.
I've actually given the Knicks respect before. It's just Joel cooks the Bulls so much it's hard to remember. You know,
Okay. that's fair.
Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. They've been one of the best duos in the league this
They
year.
have been.
Playoffs matter. Mitch Robinson, tough matchup for Embiid. A little skinny, but lengthy, long. I'll take the Knicks upset, man. Fuck it.
And sorry, you don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead, bro. I didn't start talking. Go ahead.
It's really the Joel Embiid and his long-term team. So I can say it afterwards.
Okay. This would be an unbelievable series. I think it goes 7 games. That's how good it is. And for that fact, I think Philly wins because playing in Wells Fargo is a super tough matchup.
They did blow it to the Hawks in Wells Fargo.
Yep.
But that was also with a historically bad Ben Simmons. And also,
Was that historically bad or just Ben Simmons?
it ended up being the moment where, in history, we find it that was the moment Ben
was the
Simmons
turning point.
became
Ben
the
Simmons.
Ben Simmons we know now. And also, we don't give enough light on Embiid being mid also, where he had his moments of being really
Playing
firm.
on partially torn meniscus. too.
And it's always something with him, no doubt.
It is.
And I'm a
Donovan
Joel
Mitchell was
Embiid
playing
guy.
with a bad ankle.
I'll say this. I think Joel Embiid, why it's essential he wins the series is because what you said. This guy just was runner-up MVP 2 seasons in a row. It's a strong candidate to win the MVP this season. He's been phenomenal. I even had a tweet saying, minus Kevin Durant, and I want to make sure I correct myself on this, and Steph Curry, there's a strong argument for Joel Embiid being the next best scorer in the league. And people can argue, oh, he's a free throw merchant. He averages 11 attempts a game. Why it's impressive to me is that he's a 7-foot guy shooting 85% from the free throw line.
He's a wing. That's 7 feet.
that is ridiculous. And you can just basically sign and seal it. Whenever he's around the free throw line, that jumper's going in. And to shoot 34% from 3 at 7 feet tall is also very impressive. He's not an elite 3-level scorer, but he is a very competent 3-level scorer. And you can expect anything within anywhere around the rim, let me say, there's a strong chance it's going in. So, yes, you may call him a free throw merchant, but regardless of that fact, he's still shooting 54% from the field and 85% from the free throw line on 11 attempts. If you don't like it, that's on you. But nevertheless, he's 7 feet tall, nailing these free throws. So I give him a lot of credit on that end as well. I just feel like the Sixers can't lose this one. The Knicks are going to make it very tough on any team they play. I said that earlier, and I do firmly believe that. But regardless, I think Embiid is the best player in this series very easily, and he should assert his dominance, and they should get past
Is Harden the second best player in the series?
He should be.
Should be.
But I don't know if he is. He should be, but I don't know if he is. Harden, second best player in the series. He should be.
Will it be the same
But is he?
answer at the
Correct.
end of the series?
Correct.
I don't know.
Because Brunson could.
He's walking
could
in,
go
and he
off.
is the second best player in the series.
But Brunson can average 30.
Brunson could go crazy,
Yeah.
but it also depends on the defensive matchup that they assign to Brunson. I feel like either which way now, I don't know if there's any off the top of my head. Let me respect Anthony Melton, who's been playing really solid defensively. They did trade Thibault. PJ Tucker's not going to really be assigned to Brunson. So we'll see how that works out. The next matchup, as of right
Real
now.
quick, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead. Oh,
I have
you're
to
gonna
ask
talk
you
about
this question.
Okay.
All of you guys. Could we be seeing the end of Joel Embiid in Philadelphia? His coach is Doc Rivers, which is bad news in the playoffs. James Harden's leaking all these reports he's going to go to Houston. His camp is, at least. Tyrese Maxey's redundant with Harden, as is. And will he ever be an all-star? We don't know. The answer, you have no wing defender and very little depth. This Philadelphia team is hanging by the thread of Joel Embiid. While he's been great with Harden, we've seen Harden in the past quit on teams.
Yeah, I think they have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals for this team to stay together. I don't even think, even if they get past this first round, if they lose again in the second round, we could still be having this conversation. The Knicks are probably going to be one of the teams we talk about this upcoming offseason, possibly going them. Who knows if Philly and New York actually do a trade, obviously being, historic rivals over the years. But you make a good point, John. I think the Sixers team, we've seen it year in and year out, and I don't know if it's because Embiid's a big and there's a limitation if your big is your best player, how far can you get in the playoffs when, everything is such a three-point shooting league, even though the East is more physical and, as we talked about earlier, not as much finesse in shooting as the West. If they lose in the first round, though, against the Knicks, I think you could basically stamp it. Maybe they go for a quick retooling. They fire Doc, trade, or I guess Harden's free agent, move some pieces around, try to build a different team around Embiid, but it's going to be hard to find a better fit, I think, than Harden and Embiid, at least as your second best player. But first round exit, you could basically seal it as things are going to change. Doc gets fired without a doubt.
Could this be the end? Absolutely. It absolutely could. But of course, there's certain situations that you could look at and think that, hey, we'll give this another run. Let's say the Sixers make it to the ECF and they lose in a respectable 6 games. I feel like then if you are the front office, you can understand, hey, they put up a good fight. Yes, we have expectations to make the finals, especially with Joel Embiid and James Harden as our guys. Tyrese Maxey, me and Riv were talking about it a little bit before. I asked him a question jokingly, is Tyrese Maxey mid? Of course, I don't think Tyrese Maxey's mid, but the inconsistencies allow me to even have that thought enter my head where, yes, you're going against a very solid team in the Boston Celtics. That's understandable, but you can't have 8 points as the third best scorer on your team. It's that simple. You can't be so streaky, so inconsistent. When you're on, you're great, no doubt about it. But you can't have these moments where against great teams, the best of the best, you go and you have a stinker like that. That's another aspect that worries me about the 76ers. Mm-hmm. But if they lose in the first round, it's done. Joel Embiid's gone. Doc Rivers is fired. If they lose in the second round, it depends on the matchup. It depends on the situation. That's another one where if they go against Milwaukee and they lose in a 6-7 games and it's a great series, then I think that then Embiid would still be likely to stay with the team, but more so maybe Doc is gone. Mm-hmm. Because then it's a coaching thing, especially if it's a 6-7 game series. Maybe some minor adjustments could have been made that you were able to overcome that hump. So really, I think that it's more so a Doc Rivers, is he gone type of question where I feel like we ask that question constantly. But I feel like the first round exit is the only situation I feel like Embiid would ask to be traded. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I see it. The next matchup would be the Cavaliers and the Nets as of right now.
Cavs in 4.
Yeah.
Where I still don't feel the Nets are going to be a top 6 lock right now where it currently stands. They are. The Knicks are a half game out of being the 5th seed, but the Heat are 3 games behind the Nets for them to be that top 6 and the Nets to drop into the play-in, just so you guys are aware.
I'll say this and then jump back on this real quick. If Embiid doesn't make a ECF this year, I think he's gone regardless. I think either him or Doc, because I think at this point you've been a runner-up for MVP. You know, you've been one of the top players in the league, and you're the only guy in the top 10 that hasn't made a conference finals.
Yep.
You know, and we're not going to say it's all his fault. It's not all his fault, but sometimes it is your fault. So we got to kind of look at you like, yo, bro, what's going on? We've given you Harden. We've given you Jimmy Butler. We've given you all these guys. And
The Jimmy Butler shit's unfortunate, though.
Yeah, that's what, but he got locked up in that series.
Okay.
Toronto. They locked him up pretty bad.
Tragic.
Yeah, it was not ideal. Ibaka, Marc Gasol, prison.
That was a great. They put up a great. They put up a great unit.
Yeah.
To
Embiid's
stop
a better
him.
player now.
Probably. They're gone though, so it doesn't really matter. yeah, they're gone. They left knowing they did that. You know, so
No, they won a championship. Shout out to them.
yeah. Cavs easily beat the
Yeah,
Nets.
I
They have
agree.
no
I agree.
offense. Mr. Mikal Bridges will not lead them to the promised land. Ben Simmons probably won't play in that series, and even if he does, whoop-de-doo for Cavs. That makes them worse. Cam Thomas getting reverted to the bench is really weird. But I think
Talk
Vaughn.
about DFS, bro.
Yeah, he's not good. I think Vaughn values defense a lot, though, and hence why Cam Thomas is not a starter, because Cam Thomas is not a good defender.
He got an extension too.
It's good. They must have believed in him. But yeah, the Nets just don't have enough firepower in the playoffs to fully galvanize a group to win a series. I don't even think they'll win 2 games. They might get 1 probably in Brooklyn. You know, defensively, I think they'll be great. But the Cavs just got too much offense. Donovan Mitchell and Garland will be able to pick and choose, pretty much attack this Nets defense. But Claxton's really good. You know, I think Claxton defensively, Dorian Finney-Smith can provide some defensive length. Ben Simmons, if he was somewhat reliable, would be a good defensive guy to stop Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. But in terms of Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas, Joe Harris, Seth Curry, Donovan Mitchell, and Garland will be able to have a field day with those guys. So I got the Cavs in 5.
You're sleeping on the Nets defense.
I am not.
Sleeping on that for what?
They just lost by 40 points to the Bulls.
You're going to value 1 game against Chicago?
The fact that you lost to the Bulls by 40, you should value
you're
it
right.
highly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
John, how many
but
games this series going?
Claxton, Mikal Bridges, and then Cam Johnson, DFS, Dinwiddie, Ben Simmons. I mean,
Ton of
there's
defense.
2 years left.
Who's
Tough
scoring?
defense.
Who's scoring points?
That defense is elite.
They'll have to go offense.
They already
though.
talked about
Who's-
the 2 guys
No one.
being left out of the lineup of Cam Thomas and Ben Simmons. These are the 2 guys that right now are being
They're gonna
left
have
out
to
of the
play Seth Curry.
rotation.
Yeah, Ben shouldn't be in the
They'll
rotation,
have to
but
play
Cam
Seth Curry.
Thomas should.
They'll have to play Spencer Dinwiddie. Those are matchups that Garland and Mitchell can easily exploit.
Dinwiddie got the best of Jalen Brunson Donovan Mitchell last year. So.
Because
You think-
defensively,
wait, hold on.
the
'Cause I-
defensively,
I love when
yeah,
people
I
say
know.
that.
Go ahead.
Dinwiddie was guarding Mitchell?
No, but he was on the other side.
Oh,
He was the number 2 when they beat him 2-1.
okay.
Games.
Interesting. So that's what we're doing.
How many games this
I
series
make
going, John?
points. 5 games.
Okay.
You
Uh,
do
oh,
make
thank-
points.
So the
That's
Cavs.
all I wanted to hear.
So I'm sleeping, but you have one more game today.
The Nets defense not getting attacked the way you worded it. Let's be clear now.
You did say
I-
they could pick apart.
Pick
And then I did call out the guys who they're going to exploit, right?
Now Claxton.
I didn't say Claxton. I
Now
said
with Mikal.
Dinwiddie. How was
Dinwiddie is a pretty good defender.
Wait, how is Mikal Bridges going to help Curry in a switch?
He doesn't. It doesn't.
That was fucked up, Riv.
No, 'cause
What you did was fucked up.
What's going on?
I
Why
was
you?
trying to think of his nickname.
What's going on? You got stuck. You good?
I
buddy?
forgot his nickname.
I know. That's what
All
I
right, what's his
thought.
actual name?
I think it was the Warden, but the actual name is Mikal Bridges.
Oh, got it.
What is he gonna do?
I mean, if the other 4 guys on the floor are elite or very good defensively, I think he'll be fine with that one switch.
I don't know because the Nets will have to
Okay.
prioritize offense more than defense to win the series.
It will.
Well, yeah.
Which I can't.
And if you're telling me they're putting out Ben Simmons, did you name Ben Simmons?
No.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were gonna say they're gonna put out Ben Simmons. I
I mean,
mean,
he can sit on the bench.
yeah, okay. I mean, how are they gonna score though?
They won't.
So it's hard to win games. You can't score.
especially in the playoffs. I mean, Bridges, you told me, man to man, you said the leap is coming. So is this the leap? Is this
Bridges is their
Ah,
best shot. Bridges is their
You're
best shot,
pushing
but
that.
he's
I
not.
said Mikal could be a great number 3. I didn't say he'd
well,
take
this is the
lead.
moment you become.
If Bridges
Step
is
to go.
great, he averages like 22. And that's him being great.
That's nuts.
I just
not gonna
don't
happen.
see this series being.
I think it'd be hilarious.
it'll be funny to see the Nets and all these pieces that all these Nets fans were so happy to acquire in the Kyrie and
Great
KD
role
trade.
players.
No, to see them absolutely get smoked in 4 games.
Great role players, but we know it's playoff time. You need superstars. You need guys who could drop 40. The Nets don't have anybody.
People were
that can do
happy that the Nets fans were happy that they traded Kyrie Irving for DFS and Spencer Dinwiddie. They were happy with that.
that. Yeah.
Nets fans were happy with trading Kevin Durant for Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas. No, they were happy.
Well, they could trade Cam for
They were like, hey, this is
Mikal
a
for
good
3
package.
firsts.
If we're going to trade Kevin Durant, this is the one. I
Should
like
they have
it.
made that move? Bridges for 3 firsts?
No, I think you hold into the offseason, and then you'll have a better idea of what the market is, and you have the optionality to keep him, depending on how much
What
he
if
helps.
what if the deal like they don't send like what if the
Teams are
offer-
desperate for wings. The deal
People
will be
would someone 3 firsts is going to be out there in their offseason. Maybe
Maybe
if you
4.
get more. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if nobody was willing to do 3 firsts for OG, because I'm sure Brooklyn's going to ask
There's
for a
already a
player.
report that they had a deal for 3 firsts and turned it down.
there.
Cool.
Memphis.
Memphis turned it down?
No, Memphis
No,
offered
the
4.
Nets.
That's turned it down.
That's turned it down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just I don't know. The Nets are weird. I think they're trying to retool, get a superstar in the offseason. That is no. I mean, even so, you could still trade Mikal and get first, but you still need another guy next to that star if you get one.
I actually couldn't have to pee worse.
Here we go.